guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I make lots of videos on mental health, just random things I enjoy doing, and I also really enjoy making documentaries. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the like button and all that jazz. You can do all of that. You don't have to, but you can if you really want to. So today we are actually going to be talking about how I cope with my mental health. So I am diagnosed with OCD, ADHD, and autism. So I have a lot of experience with this kind of mental illness kind of situation. I used to have selective mutism. I do have a video on that actually, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. You don't have to, but if you are interested, it is up on my channel, and yeah. So today we are basically just going to cover some of the coping skills that help me deal with my mental health and how I deal with my mental health when I am struggling quite a bit. These coping skills are skills that I have picked up or have been taught by medical professionals. So that's kind of why I'm sharing it with you guys, because these coping skills have specifically helped me. And I know there's so many coping skills out there that honestly have not helped me one bit, and they don't do anything for me. So I'm sharing the ones that actually help me ground myself and help me deal with my emotions. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. I hope you're as excited as I am, and let's go. Okay, so the first coping skill I'm going to be talking about is writing down my emotions. So a lot of therapists or psychiatrists will tell you it does help to write down your emotions as you are feeling them, so you can reflect on them later and see how rational these thoughts kind of are. So for me, OCD, I struggle specifically with harm OCD, so it's like very harmful thoughts, and I don't like them one bit. I constantly feel like I am going to harm someone or myself. So these kind of do help me, because I honestly this kind of helps me just because I struggle with harm OCD. So it's very complicated. I struggle by thinking other people are like out to get my family and they are going to kill my family if I don't do something a certain way, or I feel like I am going to harm my family if I don't do something a certain way. So I like to write down these thoughts and later on just kind of reflect on what I've been thinking and what I am actually going through my brain, because at times these thoughts seem 100% real and it sucks, and at times I can kind of separate it from reality. Like sometimes I just straight up cannot separate certain thoughts from reality, but there are times where I am able to separate these thoughts and say, this thought is weird, if that makes sense. So I like to write down my thoughts because it kind of gives me an idea of what I'm thinking. And sometimes it helps me be able to figure out why this thought isn't right. And it helps me think about how this thought probably isn't going to happen. And honestly, there are thoughts, yes, there are thoughts that I strictly just cannot figure out why I think these things. But sometimes I am able to separate it from reality, and I am able to think about how this thought probably is not going to happen. And I think just writing them down kind of helps me be able to recognize them later on when I am more calm and when I am more in a stable mind state. Like when my mental state is more stable than it was like 20 minutes ago, then I'm able to kind of look at these thoughts and say, okay, so this probably isn't going to happen, so I don't need to stress about it anymore, because I know there's no way about it. I'm just going to stress about these thoughts as they are happening. There's no way for me to really fix that, but I can later on, when I'm more calm, kind of go through these thoughts and think, well, yeah, I guess this probably isn't going to happen right now, so I'm going to not stress about it at this current moment. So that's kind of why I like to write down my thoughts sometimes. They just kind of It just helps. Okay, so because I have ADHD, my life, I struggle when there's no routine, but at the same time, I struggle when there is routine. So I like to create my own kind of routine by using my planner. So I will plan out my day and kind of plan what I need to do throughout the day and when I need to get it done by, because I like to procrastinate. I know everyone likes to procrastinate, and I personally, honestly, like, I just do better when I have everything written out and when I need to do it by, because then I can prioritize what I need to do rather than just kind of panic about this disorganized mess I've created, not knowing when things are supposed to be done. So I like to kind of just keep a routine in some sort of way. I know I can't keep a routine every single day because I don't work every single day, and I just kind of don't have the ability to do things every single day the exact same. And if I did everything the exact same every single day, I would probably get annoyed and bored of my routine, and then I wouldn't want to do my routine anymore. So I kind of have certain days where I change up my routine and all that jazz. So I personally really found it really helpful to have a set routine, but not like a set routine. It's more like a routine that I can work around depending on the day and what I have to do during that day. So that's why I use my planner, kind of just to plan out what I need to do that day. So I have a routine to be able to follow in some sort of form, at least. It's not like 100% going to happen, but at least it gives me an idea of how I need to work out throughout my day. So if I had to do a school assignment, I would write that down when I need to do it by, and then I would also write down if I work that day, when I work, and how long it's gonna take me, exactly like that. So that's kind of how I kind of deal with it, through setting up a routine and using my planner. I love my planner. I actually have been kind of starting to plan on my iPad. I have my iPad right here. I have all my notes for this video on my iPad, so I might look down a bit, but that's kind of why I set up a routine. It kind of makes it more organized, and it gives me an idea of what I need to do when I need to do it. Next up, I'm going to be talking about sensory toys, because sometimes I get really overwhelmed in high sensory input situations. So I love going to the fair, right? I love going to the carnival, but I get really stressed at the carnival because I just cannot handle the situation I put myself in. So to do that, I usually fidget, or like I will bring a sensory toy to somewhere that I know will overwhelm me, but I want to be there. So I get overwhelmed quite easily, but honestly, it's hard to explain. I get overwhelmed really easily, but I really enjoy being in those situations because they're fun and exciting, and I don't want to let my overwhelming feelings get in the way of doing things I like doing. So I bring sensory toys to be able to kind of fidget around with. I was gonna go grab one, but I guess I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I'll show you in the video. I have no idea. I bring sensory toys around. My favorite one is those little tangle things, because they're really kind of, you can bring them everywhere, and you just bring them everywhere and it's fine, and no one's gonna get mad at you for using it because it's not a distraction to everyone else. It's just for you, and it doesn't make noise. It just kind of is a little tangle thing, and I really like them because they don't make a lot of noise and don't draw attention to me when I don't want attention. So I like that thing because it's my favorite one, and I just think that it helps me a lot when I'm in an overwhelming situation. It gives me something to do with my hands, because when I'm overwhelmed, I like to do things with my hands, and if I don't have anything, I'll like do weird things with my hands. But that's kind of why I like those, is because it helps me when I'm overwhelmed, kind of to focus on something else while I'm doing things that I want to do. Next up, I have distractions. So for distraction, you can do things like go for a walk, read the Bible, play with my dogs. Those are kinds of the things that I like to do when I'm trying to distract myself. I really have been enjoying reading the Bible recently. I know lots of people on here might not be Christian, or they might not read the Bible, but personally, I like to read the Bible. I don't know why. I don't know, I like having a relationship with God. It helps me feel more I don't know how to describe it. It makes me feel more like a person, if that makes sense. And it makes me realize that reality is the fact that God is with me every step of the way through my life. And I know there are probably people watching this that don't believe in that, but I do, so I like to read the Bible. So that's kind of why that's on there. I don't really go for walks. I just wrote that down because I know lots of people do enjoy going for walks to distract themselves. Personally, if I go for a walk and I am like really overwhelmed, I may end up going to a drugstore and overdosing, so I don't really go for walks when I'm stressed. I like to play with my dogs because they are the world to me. I love them so much. They are my favorite thing. I love my dogs. Like, my favorite thing is my dogs. So I like to play with them. It helps me relieve stress and I get to play with my dogs, so it's a win-win. And next, I'm kind of discussing like if I'm having suicidal or self-harm thoughts. I deal with these differently than when I am struggling with being overwhelmed or I am having lots of intrusive thoughts. And a lot of my intrusive thoughts do relate to self-harm or suicide. So I know this might be triggering for some people, so I'm just gonna like, I don't know. I can't really put a trigger warning because I'm not discussing it, but that's like the reasons why I use this specific coping skill, because it's different than if I was just overwhelmed or if I was like having intrusive thoughts, for example. And I think that when I'm having these kinds of thoughts, I tend to lay in my bed and don't allow myself to get up. I do not allow myself to get out of my bed. And I lay there and think about the consequences of my actions. So I know lots of people will not be able to come up with a lot of consequences if they are thinking about unaliving themselves, but if I'm thinking about self-harm in specific, I tend to lay in bed and think of the consequences, because if I do that, then I can't wear certain clothes and I have to hide it from my family, all those kinds of things. So if I'm having specifically self-harm thoughts, I will lay in bed and think about the clothes that I cannot wear if I do that. And I will think about how I have to hide it. And what if I get told to wash the dishes? What if I get told to do something where I cannot hide it? So I personally find that really helpful because I will think about all the things that I will have to do if I do this certain thing, and it's only a temporary relief. So I will not have relief for a long time. I am actually like 2 months clean from self-harm, so I am very proud of myself for that. But this is kind of like how I would deal with my self-harm thoughts. It might not work for you, but it works for me. And if I am thinking about unaliving myself, usually I will just go to sleep and pretend that I'm not going to wake up. And then I wake up and usually I feel a little bit better. Sometimes I don't, but for the most part, I do feel better after I wake up. So that's really useful, and I just find it useful because I do. I don't know. Some people probably don't find this useful, but that's what works for me when I'm having these kinds of thoughts. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope this genuinely helped you, because I feel like you're watching this because you need to find new coping skills, or you need to find ways to deal with your emotions or your mental health, because right now with COVID and everything going on, there probably is a lot more people struggling with their mental health than usual, just because we are pretty much very isolated from the world right now, and most of our connections are online, which is very detrimental for your mental health. And it's just detrimental to your mental health because you're not getting real social interactions. And I know lots of people like that because they're introverts or whatever. I'm an extrovert, so it kind of doesn't help me. But honestly, I struggled with my mental health for a really long time, and I still do. So it's not like a new thing for me, but I know a lot of people that didn't really struggle as much before are struggling a lot more now, and I just wanted to help those people out. Or maybe you've been struggling for a long time like I have, and you just need something new, you need a refresher on your coping skills, anything like that. So I just decided to share them because I think it's an important time to share these skills that I have accumulated with the world, just because it's necessary and lots of people need this kind of help. So I really hope this helped you guys, and if you liked the video, give myself a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment down below. Whatever you want to do, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok at JewelPodBrittany. And yeah, that's all I really have to say today. There's nothing else that I really need to say, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. Bye guys.